Tonight, right before you fall asleep, your brain is going to try to kill you. Not really, but it's going to convince you, for a fraction of a second, that you are falling off something very high. Your body will lurch, your heart will spike, your eyes will shoot open, and then you'll lie there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering what just happened. It happens to 70% of people. It has a name, and the reason it happens reaches back millions of years to a time when your ancestors slept somewhere you would never dare close your eyes. The scientific name is the hypnic jerk, also called a sleep start, a hypnagogic jerk, a myoclonic jerk. You can call it whatever you want. The experience is the same. You're drifting off. The world goes soft. Your thoughts start dissolving into something that isn't quite thinking anymore. And then, you're falling. Your whole body convulses. You grab at the sheets. You gasp. You're awake. It lasted maybe half a second. But your heart is racing like you just sprinted across a room. Here's what actually happened in your brain during the half second. You were crossing a border. Not a physical border. A neurological one. The moment between being awake and being asleep is not a smooth transition. It is not like a light dimmer slowly turning down. It is more like two systems fighting for control of your body, and sometimes in the handoff something misfires. Your brain has a structure called the reticular activating system. Think of it as your brain's alarm system. Its entire job is to keep you alert, aware, and responsive to the world. During the day, it runs at full power. As you fall asleep, it has to stand down. But standing down is not easy. It is the neurological equivalent of trying to stop a moving train. As your RAS powers down, your muscles begin to relax. Deeply, rapidly, your body goes limp. Your legs stop holding themselves up. Your arms go heavy. And in that exact moment, that precise window when your muscles release, your brain briefly panics. Because it does not know if you're falling asleep or falling. To understand why, you need to go back. Way back. 2 million years ago, your direct ancestors did not sleep in beds. They didn't sleep on floors. They slept in trees. Chimpanzees do this today. Bonobos do this today. Gorillas do this today. They build sleeping nests in the branches, sometimes 30, 40 feet off the ground, and they close their eyes up there. Think about what that means. Falling asleep in a tree is one of the most dangerous things a primate can do. Your muscles relax, your body goes limp, and if you relax too fast, too deeply, too suddenly, you fall, and at 40 feet, you don't get back up. So your ancestors evolved a failsafe. A researcher at the University of Colorado proposed what is now the most fascinating theory about the hypnic jerk. The idea is this. Your brain learned to interpret sudden muscle relaxation as a warning signal. If the body goes limp too fast, something is wrong. You might be losing your grip on the branch. You might be slipping. So the brain fires an emergency override. It sends a jolt through your muscles, a full body flinch to wake you up and catch yourself before you fall. It was a survival reflex and it worked. For millions of years, it kept sleeping primates alive in the branches. The problem is, you don't sleep in trees anymore. You sleep in a bed, on a mattress, approximately 0 feet off the ground, but your brain doesn't know that. Your brain is running software that is 2 million years old. And every night, when your muscles relax too fast, the ancient alarm goes off, your body catches itself from a fall that was never happening, in a tree that no longer exists. Here is the part that science won't tell you clearly. Nobody fully agrees on why the hypnic jerk happens. There are 3 main theories and each one is compelling, and each one is incomplete. Theory 1, the brainstem misfire. As your reticular activating system powers down for sleep, there is a brief window where signals between your brainstem and your motor cortex, the part of the brain that controls movement, become unstable. In that window, the brainstem occasionally fires a random signal, a glitch, a command that goes nowhere and means nothing, but triggers a muscle contraction anyway. Under this theory, the hypnic jerk is not meaningful at all. It is just noise in the system, a misfire during a complex neurological handoff, like a car engine sputtering once before it quiets down. Theory 2, the gate that bounces. As sleep begins, inhibitory neurons in your brain, specifically in a region called the ventrolateral preoptic nucleus, begin releasing a chemical called GABA. GABA is your brain's off switch. It progressively silences your motor system. Bit by bit, it locks down movement. But sometimes the gate doesn't close smoothly. It bounces. A burst of motor activity escapes through the gap, like a prisoner making a run for it in the split second between guard shifts. That escape burst of activity is the jerk. Theory 3, the ancient tree reflex. This is the one most people know. Your ancestors, the trees, the failsafe that never turned off. The honest truth is that none of these theories has been definitively proven. The hypnic jerk happens in a fraction of a second. It leaves no trace on brain scans after the fact. It occurs randomly and unpredictably. It cannot be reliably induced in a lab. So we have 3 good guesses. And one of them, or some combination of all 3, is happening in your brain every time you feel yourself falling. Here's what is certain. Some people experience them occasionally, a few times a month, but roughly 10% of people experience hypnic jerks every single night. Sometimes multiple times in one night, and there are very specific reasons why. Caffeine. It has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours in most people. That coffee at 3 p.m. still has meaningful stimulant activity in your blood at 9 p.m. It blocks adenosine, the chemical that builds sleep pressure throughout the day. With adenosine blocked, your reticular activating system stays partially aroused. The wake-to-sleep transition becomes turbulent. The misfires increase. Stress. Chronic stress keeps your nervous system in a state called sympathetic dominance. Your body is wired for threat detection. Even when you lie down, your alarm systems stay active. The handoff from wakefulness to sleep becomes like landing a plane in a storm instead of calm air. Sleep deprivation. When you are exhausted, your body crashes into sleep too fast. The transition happens in a violent rush instead of a gradual fade. The sudden deceleration of your entire physiological system, heart rate dropping, breathing slowing, muscles releasing, happens so abruptly that the brain triggers emergency responses. The more exhausted you are, the harder and faster you fall asleep. And the more violently your ancient brain tries to catch you. Scientists recorded something in 1959 that nobody talks about enough. The hypnic jerk is not always just a physical sensation. Some people report a visual hallucination at the moment it happens. A flash of light, a scene that appears fully formed and then vanishes instantly. Some people hear sounds, a loud bang, a gunshot, a crash coming from inside their own head. Some people feel what they describe as an electric shock moving through their body. The scientific name for this is the hypnagogic state, the borderland between waking and sleeping. And it is one of the strangest places the human mind can be. It is not quite waking. It is not quite dreaming. It is a third state that most people pass through so quickly they never notice it. But in that third state, in that half-second falling moment, you briefly experience something that your ancestors felt every single night. The terror of losing your grip, the body's desperate attempt to catch itself, and then nothing. Sleep. Your bed is one of the safest places you have ever been, climate-controlled, soft, stationary, approximately 0 feet off anything dangerous. But your brain doesn't know that. Your brain is carrying 2 million years of memory that you never chose to inherit. Memory of branches, of heights, of the consequences of letting go too fast. Every night when you feel yourself falling, that is not a glitch. That is your brain doing exactly what it was built to do. Trying to save you. From a tree you've never climbed in a world that no longer exists. And the strangest part? It works. Because you're still here.